Hey everyone, it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be doing the Mid-Year Freakout Book Tag 2021 edition. First things first, I got a haircut. It is much shorter than I thought it was going to be, but I actually don't mind it. Like, I don't remember my hair being this short. Like, I can't remember the last time it was this short, but I'm kind of digging it. I don't know. I always want my hair to grow and be really long, but kind of liking the shorter look. But anyways, today I'm doing one of my favorite tags. I love doing it every year, and it's a little bit later than usual just because of the move in June, but I'm finally getting it to you. And I didn't pre-look at the questions, and I don't remember them because I have a terrible memory, but I wanted to really think about it and choose the first book that came to mind. So far, how many books have I actually read this year? I started off the year really strong with reading for sure. It's just in the past couple of months, it's been a bit more slow, but I still have managed to read 65 books so far this year. Wow, that's actually more than I thought. So I'm really happy with that. I'm more than halfway to my Goodreads goal of reading 100 books, and I'm hoping that the rest of the year I'll still be able to keep that up and be able to read my 2 books a week. So that being said, question number 1 is starting off really strong. So what is the best book you've read so far in 2020? And this one I actually don't even really need to think about a lot. I have read some really great books, but there is one that definitely stands out against the rest. So the book that I'm referring to is We Are Not Free by Tracy Chee. This book completely blew me away because it was so powerful and amazingly done. The writing is very different. It's told from the perspective of 14 different teenagers, and they have been taken to incarceration camps. And it's about their experiences as Japanese Americans and living in this terrible time where they are experiencing so much prejudice. They have been completely ripped from their homes. This just taught me so much and so many things that I didn't know about before. And I loved the writing style of it because with 14 perspectives, I was like, how is that gonna work? But you get each perspective once, and it really shows you so many different sides of that experience. And I think this is something that everyone should read. These camps existed in the States and in Canada, and this will teach you a lot about that, and I think it is very, very important. So I absolutely love this one. It completely blew me away, and I can't wait to read more by this author. So question number 2 is the best sequel you've read so far in 2020. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I've read any sequels. Have I? Yes, I have. Oh, I know. I don't even know when I read these books, but this is definitely the first one that came to mind. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this might be the only sequel that I've read so far this year, but it is Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. I finally read this, I think in February or something like that, and I really loved it. It's the sequel to Skyward. I thought it was really interesting. It exploded the entire world that you're introduced to in Skyward. You get so many different characters in this one, so many different creatures, a whole different side of space, and it was very interesting. I do want to check though and see if I've read any other sequels because I'm kind of curious now. I know series aren't my favorite. I never really reach for sequels. There are definitely some that I want to read, but I just end up putting them off forever. And my Goodreads is taking forever to load now. What a struggle. I did read Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman, so that is a sequel, and I loved that one too. But other than that, yeah, that's the only sequel that I've read. That's not really surprising though, because like I said, I definitely gravitate toward a newer world and a newer read rather than going for sequels. Oh, I guess I read Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch, but that's technically a companion, so I don't think that one actually counts. Take a Hint, Danny Brown is also a companion. So, oh, Crazy Stupid Bromance, that's also a companion. Basically, I just read companions, and this is Starsight is literally the only actual true sequel I've read. Question 3 is a new release that you haven't read yet, but you want to. So there definitely are a few, but there's one that comes to mind, and I feel like you can probably guess. Indeed, the book that I'm referring to is Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. This is the sequel to King of Scars, so it's the Nikolai duology, and I'm so excited for it. I've heard amazing things about it. As much as I've been trying to avoid opinions, I have heard a lot of people have loved it, and I feel like I'm going to. I'm really excited for it because King of Scars left on such an interesting note, but I just haven't been in the mood to read it, and I didn't want to read it during the move when I I was stressed out and stuff, I wanted to wait until I had time to really dedicate to it. So I'm hoping in July I'll be able to squeeze it in, but we'll see. Number 4 is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I feel like a lot of my anticipated releases came out in like the past little bit, so I'm just going to go and see what else there is to look forward to. I'm sure there is definitely something and I'm just forgetting it. I feel so out of touch with things recently just because I've been so absorbed by life that reading and stuff, like I feel very out of touch with all of it. I guess one I'm looking forward to is Kingdom of the Curse by Carrie Maniscalco. That is the second book of the Kingdom of the Wicked duology series. I don't know. There's also, oh, what is it? Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. I really enjoyed her first book. I forget what it's called, but I can picture the cover. House of Salt and Sorrow. So I'm looking forward to her next one. Like I know there's a bunch that I have pre-ordered. I just don't know like what there is that I'm super excited about because I can't remember anything. Stephanie Garber has a new book coming out, Once Upon a Broken Heart. That sounded good. If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy also sounds really good, so definitely looking forward to that one. Ooh, I didn't even realize that had a cover, but Love Boat Reunion by Abigail Hing Wen. That sounds really good. It's the companion to Love Boat Taipei. I don't know why I do companion. Like I always do air quotes when I do it. It is a companion, but I don't know why I do that. The last book that I have in my list here, I think would be The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. So that's another book in the Kiss Quotient companion novels. So there's quite a few that I'm looking forward to. I think the most exciting ones are the ones that like already came out so far this year, but I am looking forward to the rest too. Question number 5 is your biggest disappointment of the year. And at first I was like, I don't know if anything has disappointed me, like I can't really think of anything, but I can. Lost in the Neverwoods by Aiden Thomas was a huge disappointment for me. I wanted to love it so badly, but it just didn't work for me. I ended up DNFing it. I was really bored. Like I loved Cemetery Boys by them, but it just, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I didn't like it and it makes me so sad. Another disappointment I can think of is Kind of a Big Deal by Shannon Hale. That is another book by the author of the Books of Bayern series, which I love, but this one just really didn't work for me. I think I did end up finishing that one, but it was yikes. Question number 6 is your biggest surprise of the year, and I definitely have one for this. That is Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Sutanto. So this book was such a pleasant surprise. I loved it. It was so much fun, like so weird, quirky, different. It is one of those books, like they end up being my favorites when it shouldn't work, but it does. Like I had no clue what to make of the synopsis. Absolutely none at all. So I almost didn't order it, but it was hilarious. I'm so glad that I did end up pre-ordering it and did end up reading it because I had a blast with this one. It is an adorable second chance romance, but it features a main character with all of her Asian aunties who are like meddling in things, but they're trying to help her hide a dead body. Like, and it's set against the backdrop of this huge wedding and they have a wedding business. There's so much going on, but like, just pick it up, okay? That's all you need to know. Number 7 is your favorite new author. So let's see. I feel like I've gone for a lot of comfort reads this year, and I've gone for a lot of authors that I have read before, but I definitely have read some new ones, and there's a couple that come to mind, but I just want to make sure that I'm not forgetting anyone. Definitely one of the first ones to come to mind was J.L., who is the author of Wings of Ebony. So I read this fairly recently, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's a very interesting urban fantasy, really different, and I felt like she has a lot of potential as a writer, and I'm interested to see what she'll come up with next. Another author that's new to me so far this year that I've loved that I wanted to mention is Rachel Lynn Solomon. So this is the only book I've read by her, Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, but I do also have her new book and I'm really excited to get to it. It was just such a strongly written contemporary and enemies to lovers story that, like, I don't normally really love enemies to lovers in most cases, but in this case I did really enjoy it. Number 8 is your newest fictional crush. I feel like I always struggle with this because like I don't really get crushes on characters, but let's look. Okay, I thought of one. So Milo from Now That I've Found You by Christina Forrest was so great. Just the sweetest character. Like, I couldn't help but love him. He was amazing, and oh, I just adore him. Definitely if they had to have a crush on any character, it would have to be him. Number 9 is your newest favorite character. Immediately, Valora Luck from Luck of the Titanic by Stacey Lee came to mind. She was just such a strong-willed and powerful character. character. I loved her so much. I loved seeing everything through her perspective in the story taking place on the Titanic. I loved how fiery she was. Like, she was just a pleasure to read about. I also feel like Dani Brown from Take a Hint, Dani Brown, she's amazing. So she's definitely another new favorite character. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. So I'm trying not to repeat. So I'm not gonna go to We Are Not Free. I'm gonna go elsewhere. This one didn't make me cry, but it did definitely make me feel a lot of emotions. And that is They Went Left by Monica Hesse. This is a very powerful story set after World War II, and you're following survivors of concentration camps as they are trying to find each other after they've all been displaced, and they're trying to piece their lives back together after this horrific experience. It was such a poignant read, and I felt like she did a fantastic job with it, and there was just a lot of emotion to it. Number 11 is a book that made you happy. So once again, I really want to go for Dial A for aunties, but I'm not gonna go for that one. I'm gonna see what else made me particularly happy. Oh my god, I just thought of another book that made me cry, and I have to mention it because this is the most emotional a book has ever made me. Like, I didn't cry, it was just so heavy that like I could feel it. Like, it was a lot. I don't even know how to describe my reading experience. But that book is Early Departures by Justin A. Reynolds. This is my second Justin A. Reynolds book that I've read, and I was once again absolutely blown away by it. But this one is so incredibly heavy, but it's so well done. It deals with grief and loss and how that affects people. Like, it just, oh my goodness. It was amazing and highly recommend it. So back to a book that made me happy, I would have to talk about Tokyo Ever After by Emiko Jean. This was so cute. It's the Princess Diaries, but she finds out she's the princess of Japan and she goes to Tokyo. She's in Kyoto. Like, she is just having such a great time. She was a great character to follow as well. And you get to see her and her guard as they kind of have a romance, and her like meeting her dad for the first time, like learning about royal life for the first time. It was incredible. Also, I know that my bra is going to be sticking out literally this whole video, but like, I can't do anything about it. It just, this is the best I can do. Number 12 is the most beautiful book you've bought or received so far this year. I'm trying to think. The problem is I'm pretty sure they're all packed away right now, like all my pretty books, because all of my, well, all my prettiest books, because all of those go on the living room shelves, and we're not unpacking those in the apartment. But I can't remember what I've gotten so far this year. I guess any of the spring seasons editions, I got those this year, and they are gorgeous. And number 13 is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I feel like every year I just say the same thing, but literally so many. Like, there are a million that I'm hoping to read, a million that I'd like to get to, and I hope that I can get to most of them. I hope that I can get to my goal of reading 100 books this year, so I'll only need to read 45 more. Did I say that I was 65? No, 35 more. I can't do math in my head. I cannot do mental math. The second there are numbers, my brain shuts down. But like 35 books is what I need to read in the rest of the year. So I feel like that's pretty manageable. Hopefully I'm able to do it. But that's going to be all for the mid-year freakout tag. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what your favorite book is so far that you have read this year. I should have said that sentence differently and said, let me know what your favorite book that you've read this year so far is. That makes more sense, right? I don't know. I've been filming for so long because I keep having to stop because of noises. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and then click that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post. I put up 3 new videos every week. My mouth just made a funny noise, but I hope you liked it, which I already said, and I will see you guys in a new video soon. Bye!